Zoom. This one. Zoom. Zoom out.
Okay.
You got it? Pause.
Do you like? You really want me? Am I really supposed to pan or
Yeah,
what?
get everything. If they're holding something, zoom in to get the hold.
And he's retired now, but he is a professional fishing guide, and he does professional guides in Florida, and he also takes people out to fish here in the Chicagoland area. Inside your books, you're going to find a sheet, and that sheet explains several places in the south suburbs, which are pretty close to where we live, where you might want to ask your mom or dad to take you fishing. And those pages actually tell you what kind of fish are in those lakes, and whether or not you can use a boat, and where to go. So those are some good tips for you. I have a book here because we're a library. Of course, I want to talk about books too. And there's a whole table of books out in the, around the corner, and you can check them out if you like. And they're a lot about fishing, and they talk about how to fish, and some are fiction and some are nonfiction. But this is kind of my favorite. It's called Fishing with My Dad. And I'm just going to read a couple of pages to you because I know you don't want to listen to me, you want to listen to him. But let me just tell you a little story here. When you go fishing, you're up before the sun. Sometimes you even are outside and waiting before the donut shop is open. And you have to wait a couple of minutes to get your donuts for breakfast. That's when the fish bite. And Dad says that's when we want to go fishing every Sunday. The second stop is the bait shop. And there you buy night crawlers. And they're kind of a sack of squishy licorice flavored Joe Bar. Or you might get leeches, and you might get bean wash, and those are things that you fish with. And George is going to explain those to you. He has no directions to other fishing, and so do moms. Moms like to fish too.
And you can sit
And you
wherever
get
you
to
like.
fish all the way up to lunchtime, and usually you get it all by yourself so that you don't have any problems. Later on, you can have your lunch, and most of the time, you bring sodas and sandwiches, and of course your fishing rods and a net to catch the fish, and a bucket to put the fish in after they're caught. Dads have the most amazing tackle boxes, and George is going to talk about his professional tackle box, which is a tackle box that he used when he was doing competition fishing. And it's pretty old. It's from the 60s. And there are lots of things in that fishing tackle box that aren't even available today. But he thought you might like to see them. And then he's going to show you a lot of new fishing tackle. I hope you stay to the end of the program because George has brought some very special gifts for you tonight. And we are also going to be raffling off some Shimano reels, some Shimano backpacks, and all kinds of goodies. So stick around because I think you're going to have a good time. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce you to Mr. George. Thank you.
Okay, let's get started. First of all, thanks for coming. This is a great evening for me. The Shimano tackle has been donated by Shimano. That's for you young guys, you young girls. They're fabulous people. They made this happen. Okay, Nick, I want you to start, please. Nick's going to read a little bit out of this book, and then I'll follow up. So you can open up your books. Go to page 3. Take a look at that before he reads. Look at page 2. Look at that real good. I'd like you to go to page 29. Nick is going to read Good This Happened.
This land was new. We thrived in great rivers, quiet lakes, and rushing streams of deep woods, and small ponds of field and farm. There we hashed and fed and grew, and swam in clear blue water. And people came and changed the land. People came and paved and dumped and littered and stood. Changed the world. We gasped for air, we swam to deep pools, we found them, trash and soil. We found for a place to hide and rest, a place to breathe and raise our young. But then there was nothing, we swim alone.
Now that he read that, Who's going to tell me what that animal is? What is it? A fish. What that just told you is what we did to the fish. Let's go to page 20. Let's go to page 3 now. Now that we've read the poem, we understand the poem. It's pollution. That's bad, real bad. It's things that not only we do, factories do worse too. On page 3, after you read what's up there, it's self-explanatory. Right down below is a factory with 2 pipes spilling into that lake that we fish. Down below from there, you see trash all over the island. In the water, on the shore. We did that. Very important. When you go fishing, you get out, the car, your parents, or wherever you're with, before you go, ask Mom for a trash bag. Now she goes shopping, brings plastic bags home full of food. Get those little plastic bags, fold them up, put one in your pocket for each one of you who are going to go fishing. When you go to that lake, when you get out, look at that lake from your perspective. Exact. As soon as you get out of that car, I want you to look ahead and look at the grass. Look at the water. You're going to be surprised what you're going to see. It looks like a Christmas tree. Because people don't care. They don't care. They all think they're they play for the Chicago Bulls. They take cans, throw them at the garbage can if it don't go in. That's okay. Tried to get 2 points, didn't work. Everybody keeps doing that. When you go to that lake, go out there and enjoy yourself. I want you to fish. I want you to just have a great time. But I want you always to remember this. When you're through, bring everything back to your car. Take that bag that's in your pocket. And I know you didn't do it. Somebody else threw it there. But you know what? If we don't take care of our lakes, we're in trouble. So what you're going to do now, you're going to take that bag out, and you're going to start picking up cans, trash, bait containers, anything you see on the edge of the water and on that grass. And I know some of you are going to think, well, I didn't throw it there. I know you didn't throw it there. Somebody else did. Somebody who didn't care about the waters you're fishing. So now, when you pick it up, you don't have to be a big area. Just pick out a little area like this if there's 2 or 3 of you. Once that area is clean, walk back to the car after you take that and throw it in the trash can. Go back to the car, and before you leave, I want you to turn around and look at the difference from what you cleaned up and what is still there. So every time you go out there, you'll have a bag in your pocket, and you will definitely pick up trash, because I'm sure you definitely don't want to fish like these pages we're looking at right now. Now page 3, that's really sick. That is bad. And not only did we ruin it for ourselves, think about the frogs, turtles, pilgrites, plankton, everything that has to live in that little pond. We wiped it out. The humans did it. Fish didn't do it. Animals didn't do it. We go back to the old days. The Indians, most cleanest people there were. They took from the land, they gave back to the land. Then what happened? We came, trapped everything, took the pelts, sold them, killed buffalo, let them lay all over the place, didn't utilize them, didn't care about it, just kill them. It was a sport. The Indian didn't do that. Indian killed 1, killed 2, they ate. If they needed more in the wintertime, they killed those buffaloes, they skinned them, they used the bones for pegs, for their arrowheads. They were really, really people that could utilize the land and know what to do with it and kept it clean. And that's what you guys, at your age, are definitely going to have to learn to do if you want your kids and your grandkids to have a place to go fishing. Forest Preserve District, I know, hires so many people. So many people have to work and do it, but they can't keep up with it. Look at your streets when you drive. Look at school. You'll see kids, you'll see parents, anybody out the windows in the cars. It's no good. It's no good because this is what's going to ruin everything that you strive for in your life to enjoy the outdoors. Somebody's going to ruin it for you, so you're going to have to take it on your own to pick it up, clean, and just enjoy the outdoors. And you're going to have a different feeling if you're out there picking up stuff. Now that we got that over with, and everybody's going to pick up a piece of paper at the lake, I know when you go, right? At least one piece, a can. You know the worst thing about pollution? Not only does it kill everything, our birds, grass, weeds, bushes, environment, our ducks, our geese, your water birds. That's all they have. They have nothing else but that. If you let them ducks and them geese die, you have nothing. Nothing in the wild. The deer, they drink that water, they're sick, they're done. They're not going to make it. I have seen things, of course, I'm a little bit older than you. Just a little bit. Now, I know I started at 5 years old, and I've been fishing for 58 years. So you do the math, but don't tell anybody out loud what that number is. But I'm going to go back to what I've seen. And it enlightened me. It wasn't because of my age. My grandfather, my father, they were sticklers when I was young, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. They did the same thing to me. They immediately told me to pick that up, pick that up, pick that up, do this, do that. And I'm looking at my dad, and he's kind of big. I better just shut up and do it. So I picked them up. I went over to the pond. They went fishing. I didn't fish right away, like a lot of you guys. I had to go see what was underneath that log. Is there a frog there? Is there a turtle in there? How about some crayfish, minnows? I chased them for about an hour before I even decided to fish. Now, if Dad would catch a fish, well, that's different. Give me my pole. Let's go. Give me your spot, and I'm going to fish right there. But he was a stickler. The first thing he'd tell me when I'm pick it up, pick everything up that you see, and we did. Grandpa, myself, uncles, every Sunday after church, that was our job. As soon as church was over, to the lake we went. But we cleaned it. We cleaned it spotless. And we left it that way. And that's what I learned. But to make this real quick, it really, really disturbed me. I was fishing one day. And when you go to the store, you buy a 6-pack. Sometimes it's beer, sometimes it's pop. But you have that plastic container that's on the top. And I seen a duck. He was inside of it. His head was stuck through one hole, his legs, and his wing was broken. That's because of us. We did it. Poor duck, he didn't have a chance. And we took him out of there, we took it off of him. But they say maybe 15 to 20% of the birds and animals that get that caught. Seagulls, oh, them poor guys, they get it all the time. Because they're by the beaches. And that's where everybody parties and has a good time, and they throw those things all over. And we actually have pictures of 6 to 8 seagulls caught up in all of these things trying to get away in one pile. Now that's a shame. If that wasn't laying there, they wouldn't have that around their neck, and they wouldn't be dying because of us. So just remember, when you go out, enjoy the outdoors. It's yours. It's all yours. And I don't have to worry about it too much because everybody I look out here, out in this audience, you're replacements. You're my replacement. All of you, every one of you. So if you don't keep it clean, what are your grandkids going to do? What are your kids going to do? They're not going to have anything. So being my replacement, I figured the time I've got left down here, and I hope it's a long time, I'm going to stress cleaning up our lakes, pollution. I want it destroyed. I want it gone. Because when you go out there and you catch that fish, you want to be able to take that fish home and say, hey, Dad, look at this. I got a 14-inch bass, man. We can eat tonight. I don't want Dad to look at that thing and see it's got scars and sores on it because somebody polluted the lake. It's not good. But after we do that, and we keep that in our mind, we just sail from that time on and just enjoy the outdoors. And while you're out there, look around. Look around real good. Look at other people. You know, you're going to go to a lake, you're going to say, hey, Dad, can I go fishing tonight? Dad thinks about it, looks, he just got home from work, he's tired. He said, yeah, we can go. Now the first thing you're at work, well, bait shop. It might not be open. No problem. No problem at all. Get your own bait. Learn what it's all about. This is what they call a flat in the bait business. The bait business that I ran for 30 years, they call that a night crawler flat. 500 night crawlers go in here. 85% of your crawlers are caught in Canada. Your worms, for our shops, they come from Canada. And they have what they call pickers and gatherers. And then they have the main trucks that deliver to us. The picker goes down on their hands and knees, and they go through fields. Now these fields are what they are. They're all golf courses. It's very, very, very good quality land for night crawlers because the golfers, they got the little cleats on, they're aerating it, they're walking all over it. Night crawlers galore. Now they pick these up. They put them in a bag, they lay them along the side, and they keep on going. That's the picker. Now he has bags and he keeps doing that. He puts so many in a bag and that's it. Now the guys that will come behind are the gatherers. They come and they pick up all of those bags, bring them back, they put them in a mud solution, they wash them, then they bring them back and they put them into a bedding. And they let them sit for 4 to 8 days in here. Then when we order bait, the truck comes from Canada, or you have a wholesaler, all depends who you're going to deal with. I was direct from Canada. They would deliver 40 of these flats to me. That's 20,000 night crawlers. Now 20,000 night crawlers, I don't have to worry about it. They're already bedded, they're taken care of. But every 17 days, I had to redo it if I didn't sell them fast enough. But when you guys are looking for bait, you have the park district. That's what I did for years. That's what my boys did for years. You always have some bait at home if you want to go fishing at the spare of the moment with Dad. You got to have the bait. Dad worked all day. He's tired. You got to help out. If you got that bait ready to go, and Dad's going to say, well, we can't make it to the bait shop. We don't need a bait shop, Dad. We got it right here. You got all your worms. They're caught. And it's so easy. A flashlight at night, after it rains, your grass, neighbor's grass, if it's fertilized too heavy, you'll know it immediately because there won't be any worms there. Now you go to the park. Go behind the library. The schools. Get your flashlight, start looking, and you'll see them. They'll be all over the place. A lot of people say, well, we'll grab them. You don't grab them because then you break them. You break a night crawler, and you put it in there, all the night crawlers die within 16, 18 days. So when you get a night crawler, just say that this is the night crawler. All you do is you'll see the head sticking out. All you do is put your hand on top of it, just like this, and grab him like that, and he comes right out of the hole. He's yours. He's in good shape. You didn't pinch him. And another funny thing about a worm, when it rains, and you see them out on the grass and out on the lawn, and they're out here on the sidewalk, the reason they're out there, they lost their hole. There's one hole per worm. When his back end comes out of that hole, he's done. He's bird food. He's for us to fish with. He's all through. He can never go back, and he'll never go back in that hole, and another one won't go in that hole. That's it for him. His lifespan is over. Wheaties. Fantastic bait. Fantastic bait. Box of Wheaties at home. Get your hands. Wet them. Get them nice and wet. Brothers or friends, Dad, pour some Wheaties in his hand. And keep it underneath the water. keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. All of a sudden you're going to feel like a rubber ball. When that ball is formed, make sure you put it in some kind of a container. You want it wet. You want to keep it wet. I always put mine in a sock, kept the sock wet. If Mom's around, we know Mom's got vanilla extract. We know, because she's cooking. 4 or 5 drops of vanilla. Put that on there. Boy, that fish is just going to lick his wow. You smell that, and he's coming to that. Now that dough bait that we're talking about, Wheaties, that's not only for one type of fish. You can catch suckers. You can catch big carp on that. In the Illinois River, I don't know how many times we've caught big channel catfish on that. So there's all different things to learn on bait making. And once you learn it, that's the bait that you'll have. And you'll be able to, you won't have to go to a bait shop and buy all these different baits. Bait shops carry a variety of baits, which is just phenomenal. I think it's great. I did too. Because there's going to be times where the fish is not going to hit a worm, he's not going to hit this. It's just like you. You don't want to eat a hamburger today, you'd rather have chicken, you'd rather have French fries. Fish is the same way. He's not going to eat the same thing every day, but if you give him a choice and keep changing baits. I took my grandkids about a month ago. 2 of them are right there. There's Nicholas. We went out, we went to Tampier Slough. We went over there just to get the bait. And I told them, I said, we're going to get some waxworms. And after we got our waxworms, we departed and we went to another lake, which is Horsetail Lake on 104th Avenue. This is a lake that's in your book. You really want to concentrate on Horsetail and Tampier. But Horsetail is a good place to learn how to fish with different types of baits. When I took these boys out there, we had 4 or 5 pieces of white bread in a bag. And there was a reason for that. They thought they were going to eat it on me. But that didn't go. No, that didn't work. We took off and we started to fish, and I'll let one of these guys tell you how many fish we caught. So which one do you want to stand up and say how many we caught? Come on, Alex.
175.
There we go. 175 fish. And within 2 hours. And you know, it wasn't any spectacular thing that we did. We learned where the fish were, but you know how you find them fish? When you're fishing and you're not catching anything, always talk to Mom. Mom's got bread someplace, even stale bread. Don't let her throw it away. Put it someplace. Put it in a bag, put it some. Don't have to be a lot of it, just a half a loaf even. Now you go to a lake, and fishing's tough, just take some of that bread in your hand, little pieces, and keep tossing it, and watch. Nothing's happening, watch it. Now if it's windy, it's going to blow it on down. You follow it. You keep going with that bread, and I promise you, if you follow the bread on a windy day, you're going to see fish that you've never seen before, because that bread's going to catch up with those fish. Those fish aren't going to come to that bread. They're over here. Why should they go eat over here? They don't want to eat over here. They're over there. Now the bread floats right over to them. Now you see them come up and start hit that bread. And that's what these guys did. As soon as they seen that, it was like vultures. All 3 of them were gone, and all I seen was fish flying over my head. Now we got a bucket full of fish. Yes.
Doesn't matter what type of bread.
White bread. White bread, Wonder, any kind of white bread.
It has to be white bread.
It should be white bread. I've caught them on other bread, but white attracts more. I guess they get to see it. If the water is a little dingy, dirty colored, they get to spot it a little bit faster. Now, once they start to hit this bread, if you want to use your other baits, that's fine. You can use your other baits. But why? Why not save the bait for later now? And let's give them the bread that Mom was going to throw away anyway. Let's feed them bread and start catching them. Now, you catch 175. I'm not going to say you're going to do it every time you go. There's times we go, and sometimes you look at one of them days. They're just not biting. It's tough. You catch 10, you might catch none. 15, 20, 30, 40. Always remember, when you do catch, if you eat fish, that's great. That's outstanding, because all you youngsters, unless you're 16 years old, you're fishing free. Dad's got to have the fishing license. So you guys are fishing for nothing. If you catch a nice fish, treat yourself. Take that fish home. I'm going to try very, very hard in the future to have different classes. And if this goes as good as I think it's going to go, we're going to have classes on making flies just like we have here that I do. And we're definitely going to have classes on cleaning fish, because a lot of people do not keep a fish because they don't know how to clean it. They don't know what to do with it. They don't like the bones. Well, that's why we fillet them and take the bones out. Nobody gets a bone in their face. Biggest thing, when you're all through with the bread, give it to them. Donate it. Donate it into the spot you're at. Keep those fish acclimated to what you're doing. Give it to them. So you bought a bunch of them, you threw them back. Feed them now. Next time you go, I'll guarantee you, those fellows are still where you threw that bread. And there's more. They keep coming and coming and coming. Now, real fast on this one. Now we're going to a lake. Never been on it before. Dad, you're the one that's going to get hit all the time. I was hit by my boys all the time. The last minute. I want to go fish this lake. Well, you know what? Patience. Patience, that's what it takes. You've never been there before. You have a sheet with all the lakes. It's not going to help you. You've never been there before. You don't have a map. You don't know anything about it. You know the structure. You don't know what the fish are doing. I do, because I've been doing it for 58 years. I can look at a lake and say, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go over here. And the boys do the same thing now. They'll look at a lake real close. They'll see a tree. They'll see a bush. Big rock in the water over here. Or on a big sunny day. Hot. Oh, it's just so uncomfortable. Fish aren't biting. No shade. All you can see is way over there. You see a tree standing up all by itself. And it's casting a shadow on the lake. Believe it or not, that's it. That's painter. That's where the fish are at. If they're not there, they're deep or they're suspended. They look for thermocline. Thermocline is maybe 2, 3, 4 degrees difference than anything else on the lake. But that's where they'll be. Now we go to a lake we're not sure. We're not too sure about it. All you young people, this is the way to do it. You don't run up on somebody and say, hey, you catching anything? No, you don't do that. You go, get a pad, get your pen, start walking. Draw the lake when you get out of the car. Round, oval, what does it look like? Horseshoe. Now start to walk. Don't fish. Leave the stuff. Leave it alone. Start going around. Now all of a sudden, you're going to walk up on him. If he's going to say hello, you're going to say hello. Don't ask what he's got. You don't have to ask because you're going to look. You're going to see a basket, you're going to see a stringer, or you're going to have a cooler that's jumping inside. Something's bouncing around in there. I'll guarantee it. That's not the food that's in that cooler. And even if the guy doesn't want to tell you what's in there, you heard it. You just tell that man you have a nice day. Introduce yourself. Tell him you're a new fisherman. You've never been here before. I'll tell you right now, when people did that to me, I gave you the world. I told you everything I could possibly tell you, show you everything I did and how I'm doing it. Because politeness on the water, you're not going to meet too many fishermen that are real sad sacks. They're good people. 99% of them are good people, and a lot of them are family people. So now we got that one guy, he's got a stringer in the water with some fish on it. Mark it down. Mark the spot where he's at when you walk away from him. He might be standing next to the big forked tree, 5 feet away from us, but 5 feet away from the forked tree. Down there, see another guy fishing all the way in the back. Go over there and see what he's doing. He's not doing anything? Leave. Go to the next one. He might be sitting next to a tree, a big rock. It might be bushes, a drop off. Boy, look at here. Now his stringer is moving. You don't even have to ask him. You don't have to see what's on there. You can see. He's doing pretty good. Now what you do, same thing. Mark his spot and go around one time, especially on a Saturday or Sunday if you have that time to spend. And it's a lot of fun. You don't have to fish all the time. Spend your time learning the lake. But while you're learning it, you're letting somebody else learn it for you. It's not you. They're teaching you the lake, which will take you years sometimes to learn by yourself. So let the old fishermen, let the people who are out there fishing, let them teach you how to fish and how to do things and where to fish. And I'll tell you what, even youngsters, all the youngsters that are here right now, I'll guarantee you that if you ask this one, you ask this one, that one, any of them, that young man right there, Door County, that guy right there. Now there's a smallmouth bass fisherman. Now that's a fish that's tough to catch. That's a smart. Sometimes they say you got to be smarter than fish to catch them. Well, some of them fish are geniuses. And that young man, I just talked to him, and he was telling me about some of the fish his dad did catch. And that's outstanding. He did his homework. He can go back there right now by himself. If he had transportation, an old mule or something that nobody was using, I bet you he can get down to Door County and do it on his own right now because he knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it because he had the teachers. Dad was there, grandparents were there, friends were there, people were there. But I learned an awful lot from my day. The young days for me would be from guys just like you. We fished together. You go to school, you talk about this, you talk about basketball, football, baseball, who did this, who did that. All of a sudden you find out, you know, he fishes, this guy fishes. Now you start talking, and this guy said, oh yeah, I know how to make that kind of bait. Did you ever try kernel corn? And you look at it, kernel corn, Jolly Green Giant kernel corn. That's what we eat at home. That's another one. That's dynamite. You take a handful of kernel corn, throw it out in front of you, start fishing. And I guarantee you, sooner or later, during that day you're fishing, now don't move. Don't you dare move, because you start throwing that corn in there, and you say, nothing's happening. Now you go over here, and you go fish by her. And all of a sudden, 2 or 3 people come out, set up right where you were at. Throw out, poles are bending. Rods are snapping, lines are snapping, everything's snapping. They're catching all kind of fish. That's because you baited it for them. So once you do that, you cannot leave the area. You can leave it with a couple hours, but I wouldn't leave it for the first hour and give it to somebody else because that's exactly what happens. They'll move in, they catch all the fish, you moved over, you baited it. So if you can put that down as another good bait, a can of kernel corn. Just put that, carry that with you too. Because it's good, you got to put it on a little hook, real small hook. Bait shops and tackle stores sell hooks. They're for ice fishing. They're little spoons. A lot of you guys probably have seen that. Once you put that spoon on, you put one little piece of kernel corn on here, throw it out, and reel it real slow, and you'll see. It's a magnet. Bluegills just love kernel corn. They'll come and they'll grab it. And then when bluegills do it, the bottom feeders, the pieces that are falling off, now you get your catfish. You get your carp. You get all your other fish. See, there's no bad fish. A lot of people say, I don't want a carp. You know what? They don't know. They don't know what a fight that is. That boy can really do it. Carp is a good fish, a real good fish. Maybe to us we'd rather eat a perch or a bass or a crappie. But if you do right, it's outstanding. It's really, really good. Now that we got that section covered, we're gonna go into some of these lures now. We're gonna show you different things. Yeah, right now what we're gonna do, we have a lot of freebies. And I know you guys are going to love this because the stuff that you're going to get here, this all glows in the dark. Your hooks are going to glow, your weights are going to glow, your jigs are going to glow, and after you look at it, you start using it, and you start catching fish, you're going to glow. This is some nice stuff. So everybody here tonight, young people, you're all going to get one of these little tackles.
remind you that besides these little prizes that you're getting, there are going to be some raffles. And I don't know, Mr. Jordan,
You want one?
Sure, why not? Thanks.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's get rid of one of these fishing reels.
Mike, you got the?
Yes, I do.
We put your names in an envelope.
I have the older groups
Oh,
here.
good. Okay.
Do you want to do that right
Give
now?
it to George, yeah. What we're going to do is we don't put your names by how old you are, because the types of reels that Mr. George is going to be raffling off, it depends on how old you are, whether or not you get what they call a closed face reel or an open reel. So, we want to draw a name for each age group. Somebody is going to be really lucky and get to take a reel home.
Your poetry, man.
The first one is the over 10 group. So if you're 10 years old or older, your name is in this pile. Ready?
Okay, just got to get up there and grab one of these. Oh, I don't believe this. George Jacobi, that's me. No? Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading the back end of this thing. Oh, this can't be. Evan Fleck?
All right. Yes.
Wow.
What did you get? Oh, don't you change it.
Who wins the spoon?
No.
Okay. No, we had the reels, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right. Let's have the bottom of the box right here.
There they are. Nice deal. Okay.
That was for the
That was for the 10 years old and older.
All right.
Evan?
What you got? My Shimano Calypso.
Look at that. You can take your picture.
There you go.
Right. And now, this is the names for the kids that are under 10 years.
This is under 10. Now this is a Shimano, and it's an open face reel, which you don't have to open the bail anymore. Like a lot of the reels, you have to pick up the line, open up the bail, throw, and then reel it. This you don't even have to look at it. When you cast this one out, reel it, back it up, and it's going to come to a trigger. As soon as you come to that trigger, the line's on your finger. So pull back, throw, reel. Back it up, it comes right back to that spot all the time. So you could look around at night, look at your girlfriends, and see what they're doing. Keep picking it up and throwing it. It's all automatic. It's really a nice reel. It has a back drag and a front spool, which is a turn-off screw-on spool. Before we give you an idea how to take your spool off. Okay? Now we're going to see who wins this one. Under 10. Looks like Nicholas Farrell.
Nicholas Farrell. All right.
Wow, Nick. You got the Shimano reel, buddy. Look at Don. You take your picture. Back up a little bit.
Now we're going to draw for some more prizes, and these are going to be, doesn't matter. Believe it or not, this is the box I used to hold next to us. I know that because I used to pack it to make shop.
Okay, now we're going to have now what we have here for school, Shimano backpacks. Really, really nice. And we thank Shimano again. Alyssa Mariz. Wow, look at this. Look at what you get. Backpack for school. Why don't you pick one? See how lucky you are. This is for the other backpack.
Picture, picture. Hold it up. Nice job.
Now we're going to go with a Shimano custom can.
Maria Conversa.
Wow. Should have got a pink one.
Maria,
Turn around.
take your picture. Yes.
Brian.
Now we're going to do for your rod and reel. Shimano reel covers. Keeps your rod and reel safe. Okay? Brendan Farrell. Brendan gets it.
They're famous for
Now what we're going to do
Connie Darby.
Yeah.
for your sunglasses. Okay?
Dylan Olds. Hi, Dylan.
Right, John, you're going to like this. This is a gold hook that goes in the bill of your
Oh,
cap.
you want to put your fishing stuff on there.
Take it like this and you slide it right in the bill of your
Where you want some, got some fishing stuff tonight, you can put it in there. You're going to put your books in there.
careful with that.
Just keep it hidden in your room so
We have
Bailey doesn't
another
eat
hook.
it.
Gold hook.
Sure there's no gum in
Jenny
it.
Olds. All right, Heather.
Wow. That's one too now. And if you don't want this, you can have a pack for your shirt. All right, you
I
got
don't
it.
blame you, I would too.
Now what we have 4 tournament patches the pros wear on their uniform when you see them in the bass tournaments. That's what they wear.
Michelle Michaels. Michelle.
Wow. Show in.
You put like one of those fishing vests, you know? Then you put your put it on the hat.
Hey.
Or a jacket or whatever.
Nick Ciandis. Ciandis, is that how you say it? Okay, Nick.
Boy, the guy who really wanted this too.
Yeah. All right,
Talking to me at the house. I gotta have one of them.
all right.
McKinney?
Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Look at Dylan. Christian Feature. There he is.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have 5. These are custom Shimano stickers that go on tackle boxes, anything you want to stick them to. Once you stick them though, if you stick them to Dad's car, look out, it's staying there.
Stay there forever, so be careful.
Put it on the window. Yeah.
Madison Squires.
Oh, I know this guy. This is the fish hog. This is the fish hog. Why do we have to have 3 pieces of bread? Where's the loaf? Nick Savanasini.
Oh, yeah, right. Put it on his Maserati and see what he does. Where's your mom? Danielle, Michael.
That's why you're here. You're here for the next round out of fish. Uncle Joe isn't here, so.
Ursula.
Gotta know more than me.